feel so hopeless. I feel so numb. I feel so dumb. I feel so tired. I'm tired of doing drugs. I'm tired of living. I'm tired of life. What's the point of living? What's the point of life? Maybe I should just kill myself. To live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in the suffering. Friedrich Nietzsche. This wasn't always my inner dialogue. This wasn't always my inner conversation. There was once a point in time in my life where I was happy and I looked forward to living. There was once a point in time where I smiled and I laughed. There was once a time where I didn't suffer from depression, drugs, or suicidal thoughts. The year is 2003. I'm 7 years old. I'm short. I'm skinny. I have long brown curly hair that reaches past my back. I enjoyed climbing on trees and riding my bike, feeling the wind on my face, and playing hide and go seek. I look like a young Tarzan, but from the projects. I was born and raised in Fresno, California to two immigrant field working parents. Me and my two sisters grew up extremely poor, but we didn't know we were poor. We were so poor, we was po. We couldn't afford the other letters. Matter of fact, we were so poor that roaches would leave the house pissed off because they couldn't find no food in the house. I'll never forget the day my life changed forever. It was a normal day like any other day. I'd woke up real early to go outside and play with the other kids in the neighborhood. I'd oftentimes get bullied a lot because I didn't have an older brother, but I had an older cousin who I consider like an older brother because he watched over me and protected me. But everything changed this day when an innocent game of hide and go seek led to me being raped by this older cousin of mine. I was extremely distraught. I wasn't hurt. I was in pain. I knew what had happened to me wasn't supposed to have happened to me. I knew that I was violated. I knew that I was taken advantage of. My life was never the same after that. My father's an alcoholic. He drinks alcohol. He smokes cigarettes. Then, at that point in time in my life, I decided I was going to steal his cigarettes and drink his alcohol in an attempt to numb myself, to prevent myself from having these recurring flashbacks that kept replaying in my mind and help to ease the pain. At 7 years old, I began smoking cigarettes. I started drinking alcohol. I moved on to marijuana. In my mid-teen years, I started doing cocaine, prescription pills, and by the time I was 18 years old, I was already doing heroin. I lived my life this way for a long time. Angry, depressed, upset, bitter. I then dropped out of school after a close uncle of mine who I looked up to as a father figure passed away due to cancer. I had a dear childhood friend of mine who died to gang violence after he had changed his life. The person that I was with and whom I loved at this point in time in my life, I hurt and I pushed away, and I had just got let go from my job. I felt like my life was falling apart. I felt like everything was going wrong in my life. And I thought of a permanent solution for a temporary problem. I decided, you know what? I'm going to kill myself. Because I thought that was the only way that I was going to make all my issues and all my problems disappear. I wanted to give up. Raise your hand if you ever felt like giving up before. I thought about giving up many times. So that's how I ended up in this mental institution, lost, alone, confused, hurt, upset, contemplating whether or not I should kill myself or not. But I have two friends who have committed suicide, and I thought about them a lot. And as I'm there, I wrestled with the idea of whether or not I should do it, I should or I shouldn't. And I thought of everyone else I knew in my life who was no longer there and who had passed away, friends and family. And I decided that day on March 3rd, 2020, that I was not going to kill myself. I decided that day that I was not going to kill myself, and I was going to live for everyone that I knew that no longer was here, and they were going to live through me. And I decided, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I was in that mental institution for 3 days. And during those 3 days, it felt like my life was eternal. It felt like forever during those 3 days. But I contemplated my life a lot, and I thought about my life. Everything that I had been through up until that point, and everything that I had to everything that I was thinking of going forward, what it was going to require for me to continue to move on, continue to live life. There at rock bottom, I came across these 3 principles that I still live by till this day that changed my life. Number 1, I needed to forgive. I needed to forgive everyone and anyone who has ever hurt me. I needed to forgive them, and I also needed to forgive myself. I needed to forgive myself because hurt people hurt other people, and they're also hurting themselves. I needed to forgive and forget. I needed to let it go. And forgiveness is remembering but not getting angry or upset. I had to forgive and forget. I had to let it go so that I can grow. And I had to let it go or be dragged. So I let it go. I understood that I couldn't run the race of life with the weight of unforgiveness holding me down. So I had to forgive. Number 2, I had to take charge of my life. I had to take charge of where it is that I was at and the responsibility to get me where it is that I wanted to be. I needed to take charge that no matter what, that I had to face the obstacles, I had to face the challenges, I had to not run from my problems, but I had to step toward them and tackle them on head on. And I had to take charge over my life, and I needed to take charge over my destiny. I needed to take charge over myself and take custody over my mind. I like what Marcus Aurelius said. He said, the person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. So I had to take charge. Let's say that together now. Take charge. Number 2, take charge. Number 3, I decided I needed to be persistent no matter what. No matter what, I needed to not give up, not give in. I had to keep on trying, keep on striving, keep pressing on, keep pushing. Don't give up, don't give in, don't break, don't bend, no matter what. I made a lot of failures in my life until this point. I made a lot of failures, and I had to differentiate between the two. That yes, I made a lot of failures in my life, but I was not a failure. And I had to understand that this was part of my tuition on learning how to be successful, and that failing was a part of the process, that it comes with the territory. And I had to understand that I was going to fail my way to success. I had to be brave and of good courage. I needed to be courageous. I like what Winston Churchill said. He said, courage is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. I was going to fail my way to success. Because I did these 3 things, I decided to forgive, to take charge, and to persist. I ended up graduating high school. I graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA. I never thought I'd graduate. I then went on to college. I went to college. I'm now doing what it is that I love to do, which is counseling and mentoring the youth, as well as being a life coach to adults. I'm making an impact in the world, one life at a time. What's in me is also in you. It's also in you. They say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Decide to take that step today. I truly believe that you have more than you can ever begin to imagine or even dream of within you. There's a power in you that's greater than any adversity you might have faced, are facing, or will face in your life. Look to your past, of the things that you've been through, to the stuff that seemed as insurmountable odds, the difficulties, the mountains of life, and you've overcame those things, and now you're here. You made it out. You made it through. Look towards the future and see and think of all the things you'd like to do. Think of the mission, of the vision, of the legacy you'd like to have, you'd like to leave behind. Now look within yourself. Look within yourself and say, I can make it. Let's say that together now. I can make it. I can make it. I can make it. you can make it. That it doesn't matter the time that you felt like you wasted or where it is that you're at, what happened to you. What matters is what are you going to do about what happened? And that it doesn't matter if you feel like it's too late. It's never too late. It doesn't matter whether you're 35, 65, or 95. Decide that the rest of your life is going to be the best of your life. And that I believe that you don't even know who you are. And Les Brown would say that you have something special. You have greatness within you. Yes, you do. Look to the person next to you and tell them, if you knew who I was, you would take me out to lunch today. There's something that you came to the earth to do. There's something that's within you that only you can do. Only you can do this thing. Decide that you're going to steal from the graveyard your talents, your abilities, your skills, your gifts, the dreams, that you're not going to take anything with you when you pass from this earth. Decide that you're going to live a life, as Dr. Miles Monroe would say, live full, die empty. Our children need you. Your family needs you. Our communities need you. Our cities need you. The world needs you. Live now your life. Live today. You don't have tomorrow. You only got today. Decide to go into the earth and make the world a different place. Bring into fruition what it is that you have that only you can give. We need you. Yes, we do. Live in that. Walk in that. Today's the day. Thank you for your time.